Warm welcome to Does the Good Girl Sabotage You? If you are live with me today, just put in the chat where you're listening in from because I'm really excited to know where you are from. Most of you might know I'm located in the midst of Europe in Switzerland and even in the middle, practically, of Switzerland. So let's get started. Does the good girl sabotage you? I do this video because this topic came up for me very, very recently. I know that I have a little rebel in me that demands my attention. And I can also use a different word for it. I have a change maker, a leader in me that demands my attention. And very recently, I noticed that this leader is often overruled by my inner good little girl. That's still the default mode that I tend to fall into. And I also know I'm not alone here. And that's why I'm doing this video today. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can stop being the good little girl, feel good about it, and allow your inner leader, your inner change maker to step up and take the lead. And why is that important? As a starseed, you came here to be on the leading edge of creation. You came here to make your biggest contribution to planet Earth. So you are a leader, starseed sister. And your inner leader needs to be able to take the lead and not be overruled by any little good girls that are still in you. So this little girl, my inner little girl in me who wants to stick to the rules. I've been a lawyer, so that came quite handy for my inner little girl, sticking to rules. My girl also wants to please everyone. That's what she loves to do most. And that's a younger part in me. As a child, it was, I have to say, it was one of my survival strategies to be the peacemaker, the obeying good little girl who hides by sticking to all the rules, because I never knew how my mom, who was an alcoholic, would react. She was literally unpredictable. And the safest way for me to navigate life was to be the good little girl because it made me practically invisible. But as a starseed who came here to make our biggest contributions, we are, as I said, on the leading edge of creation. We came here to be leaders and change makers, and our inner good little girls, they keep us from exactly that, exactly what we came here to be and to do. And I just want to share a quick story because I said this very recently, and that's true, very recently came up for me. I'm still and currently the co-president of a local business women's association, and something happened in a recent board meeting that made my inner rebel, my inner leader, my inner change maker stand up. I knew I had to take a stand for and voice my values and also my urge to disrupt old patterns and systems that keep women small, because these systems and these patterns, they don't equally value feminine gifts and contributions like creativity, for example. So what I did is I sent out an email to the board after this, for me, catastrophic board meeting. And one of my colleagues, a member of the board, quit because of my email. So my fault, because of my inner truth that I stated. And what happened? Of course, I questioned myself. I had doubt. I asked myself what I could have done better. And to be very clear, of course, there are things that I could have done or said way better. There's always things we can do better, right? But when I ask myself, would I do it again? I got this hell yes. And I was really glad to have this clear message. I got this hell yes, especially because I felt how important it is for me to step into this leader role, to fully step into being a change maker, to fully say yes to what I came here to contribute. And when I say I'm a star seed who desires nothing more than impacting the world with my gifts, that's the truth. And I'm sure you can relate. So I had a couple of choices here, right? I had a choice to be either a leader or the good little girl, to be a rebel who becomes the spokesperson for my own beliefs, my values, or I could be the good little girl. I could choose to either try to disrupt or begin to disrupt the old, or just keep playing my part in keeping old structures alive. And for me, one of the most difficult things was this fear that my inner little girl had. What do others think or say or do? What do others think or say or do when I step out and share my voice, share my truth? I noticed this feeling of, oh my God, I just exposed myself and this is unsafe. It makes me vulnerable. And I felt my inner little girl shaking. She was afraid. And I'm sure a lot of you from time to time have that experience. And it's a part of stepping into our leadership role, into what we came here to do. So here's what you can do. If you're in a little girl and you're in a leader or rebel, you're in a change maker, have different needs. And those different needs are staying silent, keeping your head down, or speaking up, speaking your truth, sharing your values with the world or with that person opposite to you. What you can do is very simple, and we're going to do that in this video. We can talk to those parts of us that are afraid. I was a hypnotherapist, and it's called parts therapy. We can talk to our inner parts and we can soothe our good little girl. And I want to do that with you right away. So if you are in a place where you can do that, I invite you to close your eyes for a moment. If you cannot close your eyes, I just invite you to focus on your body. That's it. And I invite you to take a couple of deep breaths. Breathing all the way down into your hips, connecting with your deepest, widest, most resourceful self. You can imagine as if you're sitting on a crescent moon, having access to all the resources that you will ever need. And I invite you to think about a situation where you experienced this part of you who is afraid to speak up and share your truth. This younger part of you, this younger little girl who is afraid to speak up, who is afraid to share her truth, who is afraid to get visible. And I invite you to connect to that inner little girl, that younger part of you who wants to stick to the rules, who wants to keep hiding, who's afraid to expose herself, who's afraid to become vulnerable. I invite you to connect to that inner little girl who wants just one thing. She wants to be safe. She wants to feel safe. And I invite you to take a moment and just feel into your body and feel where you can locate her. Our younger parts live in our body. And you can just trust that whatever you feel and wherever you feel her, that's perfectly fine. Can be very subtle, that's okay too. And if you can feel her, if you want to do that, you can put a hand on this part of your body where you can feel her. I often, not always, but often feel my younger selves in the liver area, for example. And if you cannot feel her, you can just imagine that she is a part of you, that she is there, waiting for your attention. You can maybe imagine that you can see her. And still being centered in your deeper, wider center, sitting on that crescent moon, I invite you to connect to your younger part, whether you're feeling her, whether you're imagining her, whether you're seeing her, whether you just know she's there. And I invite you to ask her a question. Just asking her in whatever words you want to ask her. Maybe saying her name. What are you feeling, little Rosemary? What are you feeling, sweetie? What are you feeling? And then just taking a moment and listen. Just listen, not forcing, just listening for the answer to come up. What are you feeling? I give you a moment. What are you feeling, sweetie? You could say it. I'm here for you. What are you feeling? And maybe there's a word or you have a sense of what she's saying. Maybe you can hear her inner voice telling you how she's feeling. And I invite you to just mirror it back to her. I see that you're feeling and repeating what she just shared with you. I see that. I invite you to do that right now. I see that. And then I invite you to ask her another question. What do you need? What do you need? You can share it with me. What do you need, sweetie? What do you need? And again, just listening without any expectations. Just listening. You're just listening. With open arms, with an open heart, you're just listening. What do you need? And whatever you perceive as an inner voice, as an inner knowing, as something you imagined maybe, I invite you to mirror it back to her. I see that you need XYZ. I see that you need. Mirroring it back to her. And you don't need to do anything. This is just about mirroring it back to her. No need to feel like, oh, I need to do that thing that she said she needed. But what you can do is, if you feel the impulse and if your inner little girl is okay with that, I invite you to ask her if she wants to get a hug. She wants to get a hug. And if so, you can imagine to just hug her, give her a hug. Take her into your arms and just hold her. Just hold her. Just be there for her. While you do that, you can talk to her and just tell her, ah, I got this. I take care of it. You're safe. I'm the adult. I'm a leader. I'm a change maker. I have all the resources I need to take care of this situation. And I have your back, no matter how others react, no matter what others think or say or do. I have your back. And I like to say to my inner little girl, listen, I got this. You can just go and play now. Be the little girl that you are. You can go and play. I take care of things. I'm the adult here. Go and play. Go and have fun. And I invite you, if that feels aligned for you, to just promise her to get back together with her. That this is not the last conversation that you had with her. You're here for her. And with that, I invite you to open your eyes again, stretching a little bit. And when I did this for myself, I loved that my inner little girl was getting excited about showing her daring side, her challenging, disrupting, leading edge side. I was really excited to see that and feel that. I have something more to share with you. Being a star seed who came here to make her biggest contribution is being a leader. It's being on the leading edge of creation. So, of course, you're going to step on some toes. You're going to do that. It's going to happen. Don't be afraid to do that. And don't be afraid to shake things up. It's exactly what you came here to do. Be proud of yourself for showing up to challenge the old structures, the old energies, to challenge the status quo. We all need to learn to speak our truth, to share our values, no matter what others think or say or do, or don't think or don't say or don't do, and no matter what your inner little girl fears might happen. And I get it. It's challenging for us. It was challenging for me. And it's challenging for others as well. For others who just want to keep operating in the same kind of environment they used to, because it makes them feel safe. I well remember that once I was very much afraid to speak my truth, to share my values, because I felt, and that was back from my childhood again, I felt that nobody has my back. That was my experience in my home. But I'm an adult now, and you're an adult today. So show your inner frightened little girl that you do have her back, that you got this. I understand now that what others think or do or say doesn't matter diddly squat. The only thing that matters is the amount of alignment I feel. And here's the only question that matters, giving you this question. Is sharing my values, my gifts, my opinion, is speaking my truth in alignment with who I really am, with my soul? It's the only question that matters. It's the only question you need to ask yourself, and the only validation, I wanted to say that, the only validation you will ever need. Because alignment, what does it mean? Alignment means your soul and your spirit have your back. Soul, the whole universe has your back. And that's way more support and validation than you will ever need, and way more support and validation than you could ever get from any other people. So, because this happened so recently, it was really important for me to share it with you. And I invite you to share your experience when you talk to your inner little good girl, when you told her, sweetie, I got this. Sweetie, you're safe. And yeah, I invite you to share it with us. I'm so happy to be in this sisterhood, to have you in my sisterhood, to have fellow leaders, fellow change makers in this sisterhood. And I'm so happy that I can share these experiences with you, especially because they do feel vulnerable. And I thank you very much for watching. I'm going to check the comments. Just give me a second. And Los Angeles, California, hello. Hello from freezing cold England. We had a pretty bad shower today as well. Hi from Germany. Oh, hello to my neighborhood. Thank you for sharing this experience. I love to share my experiences, just hoping and knowing that what I go through, what my experiences are, there is some value in sharing them. So thank you very much for being here, and talk again soon. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye-bye for now. Bye.